All right, good morning, good afternoon. So today we are going to be talking about family finance. Like I said before, it's one of the class that very, very essential in the area, in the institution of marriage, actually. If you look at the Bible, we call money as a defense. And there is another portion that says money answers all things. Money answers all things. And so if you see the importance of money, then you need to ask yourself the first question: what is money? Maybe you should ask that, and let's see how we can all respond to it. To your own view, what is money? Can anybody respond, please? All right, just unmute yourself and respond, yeah?
Like I've come to understand, money is a means of exchange.
Money is a means of exchange. Thank you. Any other view?
Yeah, money is a means of exchange for value.
Money is a means of exchange of values, right? Good. Any other view? Any other view? What is money? Let's look at that. What is money?
In addition to the given definitions, spendable cash that is available to spend.
Spendable cash. Okay. Any other?
Definition of money, sir.
I feel that definition, cash that is available to spend, might not capture what money is in the real sense. What if I have cash and it's not available for me to spend? Is it not
like
money?
what?
It is still money.
Like what happened to us in Nigeria?
Yes, back then, January or February, it's still money, but I can't spend it. So I feel money is a legal tender through which everybody have accepted to transact or exchange value for generally accepted legal tender.
Okay.
Definition of money, sir.
Okay, go on.
Well, my own definition is money is anything that is generally acceptable as a medium of exchange.
Okay. Another one?
Act as a measure. Okay.
Okay, go on. Yeah, if you are not sure, you can continue.
Act as a measure and settlement of debt and maybe some other business obligations like that, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Another one? Another one. All right. Everything that we all said, they are all very correct. Very, very correct. You will all agree with me. Most of the things you've been said. Money actually, like I said, it answers all things. Somebody said money is a means of exchange of goods and services. You know, is a tender document, a legal tender document. And if you put all these things together, you will discover that actually money is the exchange of values, right? And somebody put it that way, that money is actually an exchange of values. Before now, is a representation, right? Somebody has one value, another person has another value. Before now, we're using what we call trade by barter, right? Where you bring what you have to the market, and so they look for a legal documents where they can actually use as a means of exchange. So that's how they agree, you know, that the issue of money plays a very significant role. And because of that, you will agree with me that money always, I use the word always, wants to take a place in your heart. Money always wants to take the place in your heart. And that place that money is always going after is the place of God in your heart. And that's the truth. God, money is always is the next first after God. And that is why if you look at what is going on on in the world, you discover that people are actually pursuing money than they pursue God. People can kill their parents because of money, you know. So, and this area in marriage also is very, very important. Last week we talked about sex. Am I right? I think it was sex we discussed.
Yes, sir.
So I was the section, right?
So it's awesome.
Okay. So Fola and Banji missed it.
Sir, was he recorded, sir?
You are on your own or your.
I just came to know that
Don't
that
worry.
lesson was on. Maybe I was still at the airport or something.
Thank God you're back to Nigeria. Don't worry, we'll see what we can do. Even if you have not, we will have the section together. I've said it. Anyway, so these two areas, the one we discussed last week and the one we are discussing today, are very, 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 very essential in your marriage. Very. And when I use the word very, I mean, there are two tools that one cannot do without in our marriage. And we have to put them in the right position, place. Sex and money, those two areas. So today we're actually focusing on money. And I said that money actually is an exchange of values. And most of the time, money actually reflects your own personal values. Personal value. You know, in other words, if you don't have value, you cannot add value. You cannot add value. If you don't have values, you cannot add value. So in other words, we're saying to us that money as it is the reflection of your own personal value. And that is why at this point, we're saying it's very important that you look at the attitude that you have towards money. You know, if you look through, you see places where God said that you cannot serve God and mammon. Mammon is the god of money. There is a place that was always mentioning so many things about money. Chukwemeka, you are welcome. I've missed you seriously.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Okay. I just came back.
Okay. What about my sister? Is she there?
No, she's not here.
Please get across to her.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach her, but she's not picking. Well, I'll continue.
Okay. So we're just trying to lay the foundation of money. And I've said before that money money answers all things, right? And money, our attitude towards money will actually determine, because money wants to try to take the place of God. And one of the things money tries to do is either you want to master you or you want you to master him. And it all depends on you. Many people today are being influenced by what money is, right? Money normally is supposed to be your servant. It's supposed to be your errand boy to actually fetch you what you want. Sometimes you use money to buy time, you know. Sometimes somebody say use time to buy money. It all depends, but sometimes you use money. It all depends on the attitude. But the truth is that you need to develop an attitude of seeing money as our errand boy that will actually fetch you what you need per time. You understand? And then, yeah, even when it comes to this, which I'm going to be mentioning earlier, let me quickly mention it here. You know, many people have not been able to see the place and the role of God in this area. God said, I will supply all your needs and not all your want. What destroys and affects people's marriages is focusing on want at the expense of needs. You, in terms of money, when it comes to prioritizing and all that, you need to focus more on the needs. God will definitely supply your needs, and there are always a principle that governs money. So when you look at this, you know, just like you said, there is need to have and there is nice to have. Nice to have. There is the need to have and there is the nice to have. The nice to have is what I mean by the word want. But the need to have means it's essential. And in this area too, you know, just like when we talk about 4 levels of consciousness, either competent, conscious, don't let me go to that level, but let me just quickly focus on this area. Now, there is need for us now as couple to be able to be on the same page to cultivate a lifestyle that can accommodate the resources that we have per time. So instead of you thinking of living an extravagant life or trying to impress people, listen, when it comes to money, you have to be very, very careful, because money always have a way of making you feel that you don't have enough. That is where you hear the word greed. That is where you hear the word gluttony, or always wanting more, always craving for more. So today, as a family, we want to talk about what you need to do as a family, the place of money. So, and I said earlier that I want to ask this question, and I need a response from us. The first question is, do you guys believe in joint account? That is the first question. So before you answer the first question, I'm going to be calling your name one by one, and I need your response. But before I answer that, I get the response from you. Let me ask, which is the second question, do you know how much each person you are earning? Do you know how much you are earning? Does Peter knows how much Toy is earning? Does Emeka knows how much Gabriela is earning? Does Fola knows how much Banji is earning? Does Peter knows how much Toy is earning? You understand what I'm saying, right? Does Adiriola knows how much Daniel is earning? Do you know how much both of you are earning? Can I just get one response? Yes, no. If your answer is yes, let me just say, yeah, yes. You can unmute yourself and say yes. If your answer is no, everybody shall hear yes, no. Anybody?
Yes, we know how much is earning.
All right, so the majority here says yes, which is good. All right, so the next question is, which is the one I need response. Do you believe in joint account?
Yes,
or what is your own opinion about this joint account? Unmute yourself and tell us. Yeah, I can see Fela, you're already unmuted. Tell us your view about joint account.
Yeah, for me, before I can have a joint account, I must ask myself some certain questions. What is the purpose for this joint account? If it's going to be for the kids, for the welfare, that we can always put together so that the load will not be too much on us when they start coming, I think it's okay like that. Maybe for the rent, maybe for the kids, maybe for upkeep and all that, so that when those bills start falling, it won't be as if the load is too much on the man or on us.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mary. All the ladies in the house, get ready to talk, oh.
Yes, sir. Mary. For me. Yes, sir.
For me, yes, sir. Sir, okay, I'm hearing you.
Joint account is just like the previous person already said. There should actually be a reason for you wanting to have a joint account. It's very, very good for planning unforeseen circumstances. So for those reasons, it's very, very good to have a joint account. So you know that, okay, this money is coming from two sources in that sense. It's coming from the husband, it's also coming from the lady. You know that you are joining forces together to get somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry for your voice. You're going to talk today. You don't do anything.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Tony, over to you. Do you believe in joint account? If yes, what's your view about joint account?
Yes, I do. And I don't want to say just like both of them have said, because it seems like I have the same view. I think for you to have any accounts, whether personal or joint or savings or anything, there has to be a purpose for it. We can't just keep putting money away. What are we putting the money away for? Is it that we are going to be saving to build a house, to fund the kids' education? I just believe that there should be an account where we both pool resources together, but also we should have personal accounts in case we want to, at attend to other things, and we don't have to start coming to the other person that, oh, I want to buy skirts, I want to buy scarf, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. So I think it's a very good thing to do.
All right. Thank you very much. Mobola?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good night, Jerry.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to support what the last person said. It's a good thing to have joints, but the joint account must have a purpose. There must be maybe towards a project or, emergency funds. And then it's also good to have a personal savings. That's my tip. Yeah.
Okay.
So that if I want to do anything, I don't have to now be, no, I want to have my personal savings to be able to do stuff for myself, maybe family, benevolence, and all that. So, thank you. All
right. Very good. Okay. I have one of our guests here, and she's also joining us for the first time. So, Ade Riola, you are also permitted to talk. You are part of us. So, if you can unmute yourself and let's have your view.
Okay, so good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me. So joint account, yes, for the purpose of running the house, funding the children's education towards the project. I think, it's necessary, especially when both parties are working. So that's a way of supporting each other and ensuring that you're putting your funds to good use. And also, for those kinds of purposes, yes.
Okay. Guys, okay, don't let me, because of my time, yeah. I know some guys will be for and all that, but by the time we discuss, from the view, I discovered that, okay, most of us believe in joint account. Do you have anybody among the guys that have a contrary opinion or an added opinion to the things the ladies have said? Anybody? You can unmute yourself quickly. Anybody? All right, nobody. All right, good. Now, like I said, we're going through a journey, and this journey is very important, just like we did for sex. And I explained through the journey for us to understand it. The same thing is applicable here. And the reason why I ask about this joint account thing and knowing each other's financial status and all that is, even the word joint account, as it were, may not necessarily be, in quote, a physical joint account, but we're still going to discuss it in another dimension. But the mental joint account, that is where it all starts from. When the scripture says they were both naked and they were not ashamed. In other words, both of them understand where they are, understand where they are going, and they have the resource together that can foot the bills of the direction that they are going, right? And those are the things, those are the points that this whole joint account thing handles. The mental connection that I know what each other handling and the resources that is being pulled in different places. So this is what the concept of joint account is. Now, in building your family finance, two things very essential. Two, somebody say two. Can I hear two? Two, just say two.
Two.
Good. All right. Okay, so two very important items of things that you need to focus on. The first one, which to answer the reason why I asked us these questions. The first one is trust. Trust. Trusting, the word trust is very important. You need to trust one another. If you don't trust one another, you will not be able to expose your financial status to one another. If you don't trust one another, you may not be able to have joint account, right? And the trust is very important in this ingredient. And I see some of our parents, they don't trust one another. That's why you see some of our parents, our mothers are building a house without letting the husband know. Or the husband is building because they don't trust one another. I was talking with somebody of late and said, I have to do my own thing though, because this guy, I don't know where he's going. I don't want to be left out and all that. Because you have not built your family on trust. You have not. And for you to actually enjoy your marriage, enjoy your finances, You should be able to trust one another. Yes, somebody asked this question. This philosophy that says our money is our money. Our money is our money. What is that philosophy all about? Let me quickly answer that question, because it's some of the things that plays up in people's heart. Listen, our money, which I always say it, our money is actually our money. But its money is our money. Why? Because the old concept, I wish I can draw it here. The old concept, right, still boils down to this this simple policy or simple principle. Let me see if I can draw it, and I will share it here on the slide. Now, this circle, don't mind my drawing, right? Can you see the circle, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Good. So, and I'm drawing another circle. So this other circle, this inner circle, this is the woman. This outer circle is the man. And I still have another one, which is God. When God says your life is hidden in Christ in God, this is how you are. And so, this is the man. This is the woman. So when you use the word our money is our money, it means that what belongs to this inside this one actually belongs to everything inside this box. Do you see that? So this is it. So it belongs to everything inside this. So our money here is our money because it has to do with what is inside this place. Now, his money, which is this guy, look at it very well. This guy's own now, his money belongs to everything inside. You get that? Everything inside. So everything inside this thing belongs to everything inside it. So his money is actually belongs to everything inside this box. Everything. So that is where this concept of our money is, is money. Sorry, how did they say it now? Somebody should help me. How many of us have had that statement before?
Sir, his money is our money. My money is my money.
You know that.
Yeah. This is actually where the concept is. However, a lot of people have misinterpreted this, most especially the young ladies of today, like Fola and no, it's not even Fola. I am very, very sure Mary, because her body is in, yes, is in my money. But this is the concept. Now, note that everything inside these things belongs to everything inside these things. That's this woman, which means everything she owns, everything belongs to the man. Do you get that? Hello, I need a response here.
Did you get?
Yes, sir.
Because she's inside you. So she has changed her name. She has changed everything. So everything, she's inside you. So literally, our money is actually our money. Your money is actually, but because it is inside you, she can still decide on that. But it is essential for you as a person to look for a loophole, a way of penetrating into this shape here. You need to, and I'm trying to explain this how I wish you can. Do you understand? I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I'm saying here that as a person, you need to see what can you do to open this place up. You need a gate. You need something that you will definitely, and that is where the word trust is. Because when a woman has money, anything she has, she will spend it on the family, everything she has. And you need to let it register in your mind. Everything she has, she's always focusing on the family. So what it requires now is for you to have a gateway, have something that will open up this place for the family to be able to enjoy all that she has. And if she can trust you, she will give you everything. She will release everything. Do you understand? So that is the concept of is money is our money is and the truth there is that literally speaking, our money is our money, is money is our money. But a lot of ladies today, the moment you give them housekeep and they cannot trust you, discover that they'll be keeping their own, which we're going to talk about. So the first ingredient that is necessary in family finance is trust. Trust one another. Having that level of trust will determine if you're going to enjoy your marriage or not. But if I cannot trust you, I will not want you to know what I'm earning, and I will not want you to know how I'm spending. That is the first one. The second one, which is also very important, and is what I'm going to focus on a bit now. The second one is planning. Planning. And the word planning there is where the word budgeting is all about. Budgeting is advanced planning, future planning, planning ahead. So you need to have a budget. The family need to have a family budget. This family budget helps you to be able to eliminate excesses, eliminate unnecessary spending. In companies, they go through, they have budgets. All this to be able to plan their finances and all that. If you don't know how to plan, you are actually planning to fail. You know, so it is essential that you plan. Both of us plan, and that is why this class, please, like I said, pay attention as we go through this whole session. There is need for you to plan, and I'm saying there is need for you to have a family budget. Now, when you have family budget, I know so many of us, when we talk about budget, we are always budgeting our expenses, yeah, which is okay. But the truth is that you are not only meant to budget your expenses, you are also supposed to budget your income. Now, when you have a budget for your expenses, you need to have a budget for your income. You know how much you are earning, and you need to be thinking, what can I do to increase my earning capacity? What can I do as a family, you know, to increase your earning, you know? So, when it comes to earning, you know, there is the fixed and the variable income that comes. So you need to have a budget for your income. So you have a fixed income, we have the variable income. Time will not permit me to say this, but when you are actually budgeting, I always tell people that most times it's better, appropriately, it's better for you to budget based on your fixed income. Variable income, also divided into two. We have the I've forgotten all the name, but that one is also into two. We have the portfolio. We have the ones that come in as a result of either house rent. You have a house or dividends, or you know, something that comes on honorarium. It's not fixed. Those are the variable income, as it were. So, but most of the time, it's not advisable to budget on those variable income, but you budget on a fixed income. Right? So there's need for us to do budgeting now for your income. By the time you budget your income, it's based on your income that will help you to now budget your expenses. Now, there are times that there'll be increment in like the economy now that will definitely force either for you to increase your income or to peg your expenses, because your income most of the time will determine your expenses. And that is why this class is very important. So I observed somebody step aside. I don't know who that is. The Banji. Right, I think it's Banji. Fola, I think it's Banji. Please tell him this class is very important, right? Fola, are you there? Hi guys, can you hear me? Oh,
yes, sir. Can hear
okay.
you.
All right, good. I hope you're learning something, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we want to budget your expenses. Now, 3 things you need to do in budgeting your expenses. The first one is to pay God. The second one is to pay yourself. The third one is to pay others. This is the groupings for your expenses. Pay God. pay yourself, and pay others. These are the three very essential groupings in budgeting your expenses. So when I use the word pay God, yeah, you need to separate some amount of money to God. Then the other one is paying your tax. Tax is money that God has given you rights to pay to the nation that you belong to, because the government is a servant of God. So you need to have tenth, which is your tax, to pay. So budget it. Even sometimes you remove your budget before you collect your salary. You remove your tax. So budget your tax. Pay God. Government is God's servant, and also pay your tax, tithe. Anything that has to do with God that you're offering, have a budget for that. Sometimes you might say you want to budget for projects, then God's project and all that. Have a percentage. Everything should be percentage. Have a percentage. Before now, you will hear the word tithe, right? And in the New Testament, they say you can pay more than 10%. So don't just box yourself to 10%. You can do 20, you can do 40. God's principles say you should even do 100%, but you should not just, but the minimum that you should give is 10%. So which means have minimum of 10% for your tithe. Minimum, I don't know what the tax is saying. Some will say 5%, some will say 8%, some will say 15%, depending on the nation that you are. But you should have a budget for your tax. So have a budget and separate those budgets is essential, right? So your offering, you have a percentage for your offering, right? And I want to be sure, because I can say some people are out. I don't know why they are out. Okay, they are coming back. Okay. All right, so let's go on. So you need to pay God, pay the government, because the government is God's servant. It's there in the scripture. For those of us that are Christians, that believe in the scripture, government is a servant of God, right? So pay, remove your tax, remove the ones you want to, your offering and all that. That is paying God. The next one is pay yourself. Like I said, pay God, pay yourself, and pay others. So pay yourself. The first thing in paying yourself, in all this, the first thing you need to do in paying yourself is to save. Minimum of 10% of your income. You are going to save it off-site. In other words, that 10% is not spendable, as it were. Just like you are paying God, you are paying tithes, you are paying offering, you need to have 10% that you are saving offsite. Listen, guys, if you are not saving, you are not safe. If you don't have a savings, if you are not saving, you are not safe. So don't say, PKO, the amount I'm earning is not even enough. Listen to me, there is no amount that you will earn that will be enough. So save minimum of 10% offsite. I'll say it again, save minimum of 10%. In fact, that is where this word joint account comes in. You can take 10, you can be 10, like I use the word minimum. You can do 20%, you can take, but make sure you have a percentage that you are saving, putting aside. That money is not spendable. You will just take it out. Every month you are saving it and all that. And we'll call it, some people call it joint account, some people call it project account. It all depends on the way you want to. So you can pay, but it is very essential that 10% is being saved. Minimum. I use the word minimum because some people, you do the calculation of your budget and you do the calculation of your housekeep and you say, okay, I want to save this offsite because that is meant for housekeep. That what somebody will ask, all this 10% we are saving, what do you want to use for? It's for project. It's for, maybe you want to travel to the country, or maybe you want to spend, a lot of people use it for this. Some people it's for project, building projects and all that. But you must have that 10% that is off your salary. That is the first one. The second thing you need to do is to have personal allowance. Personal allowance. I'm focusing on paying yourself now. And I've said the first one is to save out. So if you are earning 100,000, take 10,000 off and go and save it. Just assume that you don't even have money. You don't spend everything. Just like when the spirit says you spend everything that you have, you are stupid. Your common sense is blocked. So listen, there are times when there'll be famine. There are times when there'll be There are times when there'll be much, and there are times there'll be the little. But the truth there is that when you have lot, which I'm going to mention later, make sure that you have this amount that you're saving offside. Now, that is what that. Now I said next one is to pay yourself. Have a personal allowance. Have a personal allowance. In other words, when you have an income, now you decide, okay, this particular allowance amount goes to you for your own personal use. Personal allowance. Husband should have personal allowance. Wife should have personal allowance. Somebody will now ask, is it from my money or from his money? It depends on the agreement. Both of you can decide to have it, and it's okay. Since you are making, you are working, and you are making in some amount of money, it is still our money. All right. So what I would do is that the amount you are making, use it for your own personal flow, which means that is your own personal allowance. Sometimes your husband will ask you, you need to support from your amount you are making. So amount you want to agree to support, use it, but you must have a personal allowance. If your husband is the one that is working, the husband should give the wife at least a percentage for her own personal allowance. Are you getting what I'm saying now? This aspect is very important. I know many families have been affected because of this. They do not have money and all that. Now, what do you use your personal allowance for? It's left to you. It's from your personal allowance that you do your hair. It's your personal allowance. Sometimes it's from your own personal allowance that you use to take care of some other things for refreshment, for honorarium and all that. It's from your own personal allowance. In fact, it is from your own personal allowance that you will buy fuel for your own car. Personal allowance. Now, so you want to do your hair, you want to do these things from your own personal. So you need to have a particular percentage of money that will be used for yourself. Either if she's not working, you are working, make sure you give her a particular percentage. Say this is your own allowance. Even if it's 10,000 naira, let it be that she has something for herself per month, right? That is, and he also need to have, because it's from there you will do all the necessary runs. Well, I know you will have a lot of questions, but I'll take those questions afterwards. So now you have your personal allowance. The next one is you need to have a budget for housekeep. Housekeep. Have a percentage, a particular amount of money for your housekeep. Housekeep is where you have the food stuffs and stationary toiletries is the housekeep. So you need to get both of you need to sit down and agree. Okay, how much do you want to that you think to be enough for housekeep? If it is 50,000, okay, it's 50,000. We manage it. If it's 100,000, we manage it. But have a particular fixed amount that you are giving, either you are the one giving your wife or you, depending on how you want to arrange it. But let's have a fixed amount that you are given, right, for housekeep, dedicated for housekeep, right? Next one, also pay yourself, is to have medical medical bills, or what do you call it? Medical allowance. Have a percentage for medical allowance. It's still part of it. That is where you do medical checkup. So some of us may not be, may not have the benefit of having HMO in your own organization, but have a particular amount where you do medical checkup once in a year. So it's still part of you. And the truth is that if you don't have those things, it's going to affect your health later. It's going to affect you. So you need to have a particular amount of money that have been dedicated for such thing. I know somebody is thinking, hey, Mikel, Lorielu, how much am I earning in that I will go have these things? Listen, guys, if you are not saving, you are not safe. If you are not deliberate about it, there will be no need for, there won't be an opportunity for increase that will come your way. In fact, you will not be able to monitor your expenses and monitor your finance. And so these things helps you to be able to at least put things, and that's why we use the word being prudent with your money. Right? So, as I was saying, right, I know some of us have so many questions. Don't worry, I'm going to answer all the questions. Or if you have your questions, you can be writing the questions down in the chat room. You can be jotting this, just write it in the chat room. I'm going to answer all the questions so that it will not skip your mind. Just write it there and I'll answer the questions. All right. So then the last one under pay yourself is have a percentage of money that you are saving for your children. save a particular amount of money for your children. You know, it might be 2,000 every month. Just have it. Now, let's not forget, sorry, when I say pay yourself, you know, I mentioned that you have savings and you have personal allowance. Now, when you have your own personal allowance, now, if your personal allowance is 30%, you still need to have a savings. You still need to save from your personal allowance. You need to save. So if your allowance is this, save 10%. Just put that 10% aside. Though that money is spendable. But when you have it, you can have it as the one that is spendable, that is cash at hand, but this one for emergency. But because it's your personal allowance does not give you the right to spend it. Anyhow, does not say because you're this, you must finish everything. Listen, friends, there are times resources will come, which I'm going to discuss on that later. All right. So I have said a lot about paying yourself. Now let's also go to pay others. Pay others is the aspect of you paying your utility bills. You need to have a budget for your utility bills, NEPA, water, and also for your fuel for the house, not fuel for your car. Remember, separating these two, the fuel for the house is utility. The fuel for the car is personal, is under your personal allowance. So you need to have amount that you use for the fuel for the car. Sometimes it might be part of your money, sometimes, but let us have a little budget that is now budgeted for those things. You know, it's very important. Now, paying others, you need to have a percentage for benevolence. The percentage for benevolence. Under that benevolence, that is the place where helping people comes on board. Sowing seeds sometimes comes on board. So I would say 10%, I would say 20%. Just have to want to keep this money aside. So when you have it and you're not spending this money, does not mean you must spend it. But paying other having benevolence, paying your parents, paying sending some money home, it's also part of benevolence, right? So you should have something that you are sending to your parents. Sometimes you buy food stuff and all that. Let it be part of the benevolence. Now, if today you just jump and your siblings just come and said, Uncle, I need money for school fees and all that. Listen, friends, if you don't have budget, it will destabilize you. So sometimes things like that, both of you need to discuss it. So that if you cannot, if your budget, your benevolence cannot accommodate it, you can borrow, in quote, I use the word borrow, or take out of your project allowance that both of you have agreed on. So somebody say, are you saying I should not give my parents money? Give your parent money, but you can give it out of your personal money allowance. But for family, but even despite the fact that it's your personal allowance, let it be something that both of you have an agreement. We want to give it. But that is if you want to give extra for your parent. But if you want to give your parent, let it come from the benevolence account, the family benevolence account, which is a particular percentage that you have agreed you are going to give your parents. And when you want to give your parent, it is even advisable that your wife should give your parent and you should give our parent. Let it be communicated that both of you have agreed to give this particular amount of money to our parents. Not a situation where it is sounding or looking as if you are the only one taking care of your parents. You don't take care of this. Please, can you give me 1 minute? All right. So I said that there is need for you to have benevolence account that you pay for your parents. This is part of family finance. Pay some amount and all that. And sometimes say, what about entertaining your friends? Some of these things can come from your family, right? From your, all right, Banji, no problem. Now, some of these things can come from your own personal allowance, sometimes can come from the benevolence. Now, don't say because the benevolence account, you still have money there, therefore you can spend it. Even if you have assets and all that, sometimes when this thing comes, take out of the benevolence account, you can push it back to your project account. That is the 10%, the first 10% that you have, right? So which other one? Okay, so that's part of pay yourself. So you need to have budget. Sorry, give me 1 minute, please. All right, so with this understanding, I've said pay yourself, I said pay God, pay yourself, and pay others. some part of it, medical bills, emergency will come to others. So you need to have bills for that, you know. I think that is all that the family will definitely focus on. The house rent is other savings, you know, like all those necessary projects. Now that these are things that is necessary that you do in family finance. If you don't have this kind of budget or something, there might be some challenges and you might have the tendency to be fighting one another. Now, the other thing that I quickly need to mention before I give you some tips, and then we'll take some questions and answer. Now, friends, when they increase your salary, which they're going to, when you have excesses in salaries, which you definitely have, please don't increase your expenses. You know the Parkins law that says that expenses always rise to meet your income. You need to peg it. In other words, when there is an increment in your salary, this is not the time for you to increase your expenses almost immediately. You should increase your expenses by only 20%, and the remaining 80%, go and save it offsite. Add it to your savings. You see, at the end of the day, you'll be safe. If you did not die with the amount you are earning now, you will not die if you still maintain, and the excesses, the extra, you push it to your savings account. You'll be so surprised that the investment that one will bring back to you, you will be so shocked. With it, you can buy houses. With it, things can change for you. And I'm a practical example of this experiment. You know, while I was working, you know, that's almost 20 years ago, 15. Okay, I've been in the pastorate for 15, 16 years now. All right, so working, I remember almost 20 years ago that they increased my salary. I actually was living on a particular salary. I think it was 100,000 then. You know, that was about 20 years ago. Yeah, so 100,000 then, and I was saving, and I still have savings for my children, right? All these principles were things that I deployed. So I moved from being a stand manager to manager. They increased my salary then to a stand senior manager, right? So they increased my salary from 100,000 to 200,000, right? So that 200,000, what I did was I still maintain my livelihood for that with that 100,000, and I saved the 100,000 offsite. Now I increase housekeep, because that is where the major challenge is. I don't increase my livelihood. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. So I peg my standard of living, and I know some of our friends that when they increase their salary, that's when they increase their livelihood. They increase their they change their accommodation. They go to Lekki. They go there. No, I stayed within, and then I saved a lot of money outside. So when moving forward to the days I joined the pastorate, you know, I was savings. Out of the savings, I was able to buy landed property now in around Songo, you know, but you know, though that was then, you know. So, and I was savings. Now I changed from pastorate. Now remember I said my amount has increased to 200 or 200 plus, depending on what's going on. So 200,000 minimum is my allowance. That was about 16 years ago, thereabout. No, so when I joined the pastorate, the amount they were given as my allowance, so I take home everything, is about 60,000 naira. You just imagine from 200,000 to 60,000 naira with 3 kids, all in schools. How will I cope? But thank God for the savings. It was that savings that gave me that leverage. And I'm saying here, if you are not saving, you are not safe. So this is not a time for you to say, because they increase your salary, they increase your earning capacity, therefore you now go and rent an apartment in Magodo when you are just being increased. You don't need to. I know some of our friends like that, they did the same. They increased their salary, they were working in the bank, they gave them upfront, and they changed their accommodation from mainland to island, and they were living large. They bought new cars and all that. Then one of their friends, instead of increasing his own livelihood, he kept some of them and he bought a landed property, and then he started building. These people are making, you are still living this, you are still suffering. He said, well, God is taking care of us, you know. And then the little amount he was earning was adding it to it and was building houses. He built the first house, he rented it out, he built the second one and all that. And they were still in the same organization. Suddenly, the bank, you know, that time of margin, when they merged some banks, they were affected. Many, you remember those years that many of the people were affected. They sent a lot of people home. This guy, and his friends were affected. But this guy, he was able to cope. He went to his own house, was living in his own house and all that. But these people that rented an apartment as at that time, 2-point-something million, then about more than 10 years ago, you know, they couldn't afford it. And decided coming back to mainland, and they were driving Okada. One of them now went to his friend and said, please help me, I need accommodation. The same people that are making jest of him, he was the one that now gave them, rented his own house to the colleagues. You can see, you know, that was because the person understands sense, understood concept of financial management, you know. So I'm saying here, friends, don't increase your expenses because you have the opportunity to increase your what do you call it now? All right, so I just want us to give that background also information. And sometimes when you have increments in bonus here and there, you know, sometimes yes, you use it to treat yourself. You know, there are sometimes you have money for entertainment, where a baby picnic or outing with your family, you have it. You need to have something like that. But when they give you a lot of money, that is not the time for you to spend it anyhow. Save a lot of them offside. And I was sharing some people many years ago when my salary was about was not much, and I have 3 of my children in the secondary school, you know, and the 3 of them on a yearly basis, I pay 1.5 million, not yearly, on a term, per time. I pay a minimum of 1 million for 3 of them per term. So you can imagine 3 times I have to pay, and my salary, if I combine my salary for that 3 months, it's just about 500, 600,000 naira for that 3 months. So how? The little amount I was making when I go for outings, they give me honorarium and all that, I was always saving. And today, God has helped us. My house today, the same thing. God has helped us. And I'm saying here, friends, when this thing happens, both of you as families, you need to be on the same page. You need to. That is where the word trust comes on board. And that is where, and budgeting, you don't just budget alone. Both of you sit down together and you budget your expenses. Is somebody there with me? All right, so I believe you are listening. Now, I want to give you, before I take questions, I want to give you some wisdom that you need to apply, which some of the things that I've said. But I just want to give you as more like the wisdom you need to apply in building your family finance. The first one, you know, the first one you should understand is that God is the rewarder. God is the one that gives money. God is the one that helps you, and God rewards your stewardship. You understand? So, and at the same time, you should also have it at the back of your mind that you are also accountable to God when it comes to money matter. Don't make money your master. Make money your servant. Don't allow money to control your emotion. Guys, don't allow money to control your emotion. Listen, it's natural. That is our own period. I mentioned it last week. Men has their period, and this is the period of a man. When a man does not have money, it affects their mood. It affects the way they do things and all that. Don't allow money to affect your period, right? I mean, your emotion. So the first thing you need to do, please, number one, as ladies, as guys, don't buy impulsively. Don't buy impulsively. That is one wisdom. Don't buy because everybody is buying. You need to establish a budget. There is another thing I forgot to mention, which I need to mention. A lot of our ladies, they do what we call reverse budgeting. Reverse budgeting. You know, what do I mean by that? You go to the market, you buy all the things you feel like buying and all that, and then you come to the house and you now begin to write all the things you buy. Rice. Okay, I bought rice, 5 naira. Plantain. I bought plantain, 20 naira. All these ones is reverse. You are supposed to establish a budget before you go to the market. Know what you want to buy and put a price tag to it within a particular range before you go to the market, which will determine the amount you will go with. But when you go with reverse budgeting, everything will just be pointing to you, buy me, buy me, buy me. So please establish a budget when it comes to money matters. Don't buy impulsively. Number 2, cultivate the habits, cultivate the nature, cultivate the culture of savings, cultivate the habits, cultivate the nature, cultivate the culture of savings, no matter how small. No matter how small. Save if you want to be safe. Save if you want to be safe. So Please don't say, my husband, the amount is not making, it's not enough even to take care of us. Save, put those money apart. 10 naira can go a long way. Just ensure that you are saving every month. You have something you are putting aside. You'll be so shocked what the result will look like later. Right. So number 3, which is also very important, is that try. Gabriela, try. Chukwemeka, try. The cultivate. How do I put it? The habit of giving. Yeah, the habit of giving. In other words, most times learn to give. You know, try as much as possible not to be so conscious of yourself. Give Peter, give Chukwema, give Gabriela. Don't say, this money is not enough. This one, give. Have the attitude of giving. Cultivate that habit of giving. Because when you give, you are saying money does not have power over you. Give. So try as much as possible. If you are thinking too much of money, either lack of money or you don't have much money, it will cave you and affect your willingness to give. So please learn to give. Cultivate that nature of giving. It helps you to lose mastery and to gain mastery of over money. Right? That is another point. Another point is please be content with what you have per time. Be content with what you have per time. There's no need for comparison. There's no need for you to be thinking, because you don't have it now, does not mean you will not have it. Don't allow what you lack determine your future. No. If you don't have it, it's because you don't need it. When you need it, know that God is on your case. He will supply all your needs. Remember, I mentioned you learn to separate the need to have and the nice to have. If you don't have it, it's because you don't need it. When you need it, God will always supply. Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. So also, you need to try as much as possible not to accumulate bills. You need to try as much as possible not to accumulate bills. In fact, try as much as possible to avoid borrowing. As a family, try as much as possible to avoid borrowing. And if at all you want to borrow, don't borrow to consume, borrow to invest. Don't borrow to consume, borrow to invest. Try. That is, live by your means per time. Live your means per time. Don't try to impress people. Don't try to overdo yourself. No, don't put yourself under unnecessary financial pressure. If where you are living today is too expensive, leave that place. Go to another place. It's not by force. My friend will talk. Let them talk. They have their mouth, but your destiny is secured. I know some people before they were living island, they came to mainland. In fact, they went down to Agege. They went down because they could not afford it, because there was no job. And then they started their life all over again. And today they have gone back. In fact, they bought a whole house in this thing. Why? Because they understood their season. Don't try to impress people, because the more you try to impress people, the more depressed you become. Can everybody hear me, please?
I can hear
Yes,
you.
sir.
Sorry,
Yes,
am I
sir.
making sense? Is this class making sense?
Yeah,
Yes.
makes
Yes,
sense.
it is.
Absolutely, sir.
Good. All right. So, and that is that. And maybe I will stop with this last one. Try as much as possible to think of multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. In other words, be willing to work with your hands. Think of how you can increase your income. Remember, I mentioned that. Think of what we can do as a family to increase your income. The man should be secure in himself. If your wife she's gifted in one area or the other, and you have resource, give it to her. Let her help you to multiply it. This is the last story I will share. A man was with his friends one time like that, and then the friends they started making jest. They were talking and they were gisting, and the friend was making jest of him. And the friend was telling him, "Ore, you need to go and pray very well. Oh. You need to go." And he said, "Why?" I feel you need to go and pray. The guy was asking, "Why do you say I should go and pray?" He said, "Because, see, Your wife is always traveling. You will be at home, and she'll be traveling from one place to another. And sometimes you will go, sometimes you will not go, but you will be the one at home, and she'll be going from one place to another. She's using your glory. And I can say that she's using your glory. You need to go and pray and all that. And the guy laughed. I said, why are you laughing? I tell you something that is very serious. The guy said, look, you guys, we have been friends for many years. When we were friends, where were we? When I was the one using my glory, I was still living in Ajegule. When I was the one using my glory, I don't have food to eat. I don't have it. Now you have someone that knows how to use my glory. I'm living in Lekki. I have my own car. If this one knows how to, give my glory. Let her continue to use it. Because when I was with you and I was using my glory, I was useless. Now the woman knows how to. Let her use my glory. I will appreciate that. Just on a lighter mode. I'm saying that there's no need for you to be in competition with one another. If somebody is good in this area, let the person go ahead and bring resource to the family. Don't say, the bride, the wife, the husband is the breadwinner. It must be the one. No. If you can supply, fine. If you cannot, God will always bless your family as long as both of you see yourself as a team. I think I need to stop here. Let's take questions. All right, let's take questions. I've spent almost 2 hours here. All right, question.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Fola, please. Yes, you can ask the question.
Yeah, these savings that you said we should be doing in like benevolent savings for the
I didn't hear you. I lost you.
This money is for this money is for that.
Sorry. Can you take the question again? I missed it.
Okay, I was asking the money that we should keep that we should be saving. I was asking how we can be able to tag them. Is it for us to go to the bank and save them and say, oh, this one is for the family, this one is for health, this one is for the extended family, this one is for the kids, like that. How do we do that?
Now, you establish a budget, means that both of you sit down together and write it. You see, when you already establish a budget, you know what goes to what on a monthly basis. So either you want to put it in the bank, Okay, so back to the question asked. Yeah. Now, you establish a budget. On a monthly basis, you know what goes to what. You now have the choice of either you want to save it in the bank or you want to save it in an envelope. Anything, it depends on you. There is no straight answer jacket there. It depends on you. Okay. But the one for savings, you need to save it in the bank. That even that bank, Papa, you don't have access to it. Save it offside. That one is very, very, very essential. But this other one for utility bills and all that, you can decide. Some you pay monthly, some you pay. You just know how it comes on board. I don't know if I answered the question.
I understand.
Okay.
It's left for us to decide that we want to save it or keep it.
Yes, okay. It's left to you. Decide, both of you decide. Now, the other question somebody will want to ask is, now, are we supposed to bring all our resources together and then we now begin to disburse it? Or we want to focus on the husband's one and we begin to disburse it? That one also depends on you. Now, if both of you agree that this is our agreement, you bring percentage, all of us will know what you want to do. And this is what it means. Both of you have to get to an agreement that, okay, when it comes to, since you have agreed this 20% goes to tithe, 10% goes to 50% go to outskip, this. So this outskip is 100,000 and you are working. Can you take care of that part of the family bills? Both of you agrees. Or can you, or I will be giving, most of the time it's even better the husband is saying, I'll give 80,000 naira for housekeep. you know. So for that personal allowance, you can use your salary. It's even better that way because there's always this honor in quote. But if the man does not have, and but you have to just establish as a family, this is the total amount we want to spend. How the money comes should be an agreement between the two of you. Does that answer that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other one? Please feel free and ask questions. People usually ask me questions when it comes to this session. So please feel free.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so while we're talking about finances and while we're talking, he already said from onset that when we want to give or give his family anything, I'll be the one to do it, and vice versa, he'll be the one to do it and all. But at first, I wasn't really comfortable, you know, in the sense that, okay, I tell my mom, or he calls my mom, gives her money, and I've not really given my mom money by myself, like, okay, mommy, take this particular money, stuff like that. That's why when it comes to that's my money is my money, Kini. I'm not saying that I will not. Damlar is here. He knows that I've been very, very supportive, and I'm supportive. Have I not been supportive? So he knows. So I usually feel that even though he wants to be giving I'll use my mom because my dad is late. If he wants to be giving my mom money, I feel like I can also give her money, and he doesn't have to know. One. So he doesn't have to know does not mean he will not know. Like it's not that he knows. But here's my question, child or son. So when we wanted to agree on how much to be giving his parents and mine, now because my dad is late, it's just my mom. He has both parents. So when we wanted to talk of how much is we giving my mom and then his parents, I now said it should be the same amount. Because okay, my dad is late does not mean she cannot enjoy my daddy's the money that's supposed to go to my daddy in that sense. So when I said it, I kind of felt, am I selfish with that response? But then I just feel like if his parents are taking, for example, for 5K, that's 10K. My mom too should be able to take that same amount. It shouldn't be because she's late, the husband is late, she should not take 5K. So I actually said the same amount and he agreed, but I want to be sure I wasn't selfish in that sense with that response.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to answer the two questions. Daddy, want to say something?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, my response to her then was that I don't know. I actually read in a book at a time that has to do with deciding finance in terms of one parent is late or the other and all of that. So the book said that let the one that has a lesser parent be the one to decide the amount that goes to whoever.
Each parent.
Each parent. So not you that have the two parents deciding what should go to who. So when she said that, when she mentioned the amount to give, I just accepted because she has, I don't know, I just accepted, maybe because I've read it and then it has stuck with me. So I just took it as that.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this point. This area of giving parents this thing, the reason why we're doing it is for transparency's sake. Let it be, because sometimes the family, oh, mommy, you touch me, my children are not taking care of me and all that. Let it be that you, as husband, you are the son to your wife's mother, not son-in-law. Do things together. Let it be that you are being transparent. Now, your parents will ask for extra. Some of the parents may ask for extra, right? If you can give extra for your own personality, but let your husband know. There is no crime in that, you know. Number two, you give your dad, you give your mom, give them, both of them the same. Give them, don't give mom, dad. Sometimes, yeah, but if you want to do that, you can do it from a personal allowance, but from the family allowance, you get agree, you know. So like you want to buy food stuff and all that, you can decide to just give them the same amount. It is okay, and it's very okay. The only part that is not very okay is that when the man, you have agreed as a family, you are giving 10,000, but you are now using your own personal money to now give more to your own family. and you don't do anyone to your own, it will create wahala later. That is one. Number two, please, I want to register this at the back of your mind, all of us. Marriage institution is has different dynamics entirely. This one, I must do my plan. By the time you are married, I can bet you will forget about your parents for some time. Your focus will be your children. Your focus will be, I have not paid school fees. You see, you are, okay, Ade has been married. Yeah, I think she's married, right?
Yes, I am, sir. Yes,
okay.
I'm married.
And you have a child, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when last did you remember giving some things to your parents?
Well, so my own situation is a bit different because my mom I'm like the only child of my mom, so I always have to think about her. And she's not working, she's retired, so she's basically my responsibility. She's like my child now. There's no other person to so she's basically our responsibility.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that means both of you have an agreement. But if you are asked to choose between your mother and your child, which one will you pick?
That's a difficult question, sir. I don't know how to answer that.
You should know. Maybe by the time the second one comes, maybe I'll be the one to do the naming. Don't worry. You see, that is the truth. The dynamics will change. And this one, I must take care of my mother. Yes, it's because you don't have a lot of responsibility. By the time, not that you will not take care of your parent, but the priority will change. And that's the truth. So don't think I must stand by my word. Somebody said I must build a house for my family. And you are standing by it, and your husband don't have a house, but because you have made a vow that you must build a house and your home is suffering, you will discover that the house you are going to build is your in-laws that will take it. I've seriously. So the first priority, and that is the mindset you need, is your family first. Family first. Every other one is by privilege, and you are obligated to do it. But your primary constituent is your family, right? So I agree, both of you. Different dynamics have different way money plays off. Sometimes some of us here is the husband that is working. Some of us here is the wife that is earning more, and he feels she can spend it now. Both of you need to be on the same page. If not, you will fight. Money has destroyed many homes today, I'm telling you. And you need to be on the same page. Is that okay? All right. Any other question? I don't know. Mary, did I answer the question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For clarity's sake, yes. All right. Any other questions? Let's see if we can take one more before we go. All right. So I think most of us. Yeah, I do you.
If we're talking about personal savings,
yeah,
when I have an increase and then we've got all the budgets in place, as we have discussed today, when I now have an increase in income, is that my own?
It's for the family. So that is what I was saying. That money
so
is for the family.
I asked it around myself.
The money increment in your salary.
Okay. Okay, the question again. So the question initially was that when we put all the budgets in place according to all that we have discussed today, and I then have an increase in income, is that my own to decide on how to use it because it's my increase? And I think you already answered that it belongs to the family. And I said that, and I commented that I deliberately asked that question in such a way that it puts the pressure of that situation on me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying that I totally agree with your answer, sir, because I work from the precept that this is about trust, union, and then transparency.
Yeah.
So that anything that comes in extra is a collective benefit and should equally go by that same principle of budget that we have discussed. And that should apply both ways.
Yeah. Now, in addition to what you just said now, I told you there are two types of income. They are the fixed and we have the variables. So when you have income that comes from the variable, make the variable income. For example, somebody just dash you 10,000 naira or honorarium and all that. Those ones sometimes may not necessary because that one is not a fixed deposit. It's not a fixed income, which means it just happens. If it is maybe it's plenty, yeah, you can put it. But if it's just those little ones, you go for a show and you have 20,000 naira, sometimes you use it. That one, you can use it for transportation, which is part of your allowance. And most of the time, you discover that even the allowance that you ascribe for yourself, you will still spend out of it for housekeep because your wife will come back. And please note this, there is no amount that you give your wife that will be enough for housekeep. It's not her fault. And it's not that it's shooting you. It's because of the nature of the economy. And there is this part that if you say you are giving 100,000 naira, we go to the market today, 100,000 naira might be enough for now, but the rice that you bought, which is in bulk, will last you for 3 months. After 3 months, that 100,000 will not be enough because you need to buy a lot of things again in bulk. So that one, sometimes you might need to go and pay extra to be able to meet up some of these things. You need to buy a bag of chicken, into the house, and that chicken will last you for 3 months. Those kind of things, I've already saved you this way. But, all those things may not be something that we spend on a daily basis. Now, when I use the word housekeep, don't forget, it's not just food alone. Stationary, the toiletries is also part of it. And these ones are also increasing on an exponential, there's an exponential increase in that. I'm just saying that so that your mind will be very, very ready in case you come around and says, I don't have money. It's not that she doesn't. She have used even her own personal money. She has used it for the house. You go to the market, you see something that is nice, that'll be for the family, and he said it's 5,000 naira, and your budget is 2,000 naira. She will still use that money, and she will do it with delight. And sometimes you see that you like chicken, and you observe my husband loves point and kill. She wants to just treat you. She will use part of her personal money to augment. So when she come around to ask you, don't say, with the money that I gave you, how do you spend it? No. She's using most of the little resource she has, is spending it on the house. Note this, most of the women will use all their money on the house, all of their money to take care of you. Don't think that they are spending it on themselves. No. The only time you say a woman spending it on herself is when they discover that you are self-centered. That's the major thing. And the other one might be maybe because the person is selfish. But most of the women are not that selfish. They always want to take care of their family, except some other abnormalities in some ladies that they are possessed with greed and other things, right? All right, so that's the point. I hope this class makes sense a bit. This class, can I get a response here?
Yes, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and this is the time. So this is the assignment I'm going to give every one of us, right? Quickly, want you all to write your budgets. Send your budgets to me. Now, I know some of us you will not want me to know how much you are earning. It's okay. I'm not going to take your money. You can percentage it, or you can work on assumption. You can estimate. You can say, okay, your money is 200,000. I know you are earning 2 million per month, but it's okay. Just 200,000 and budgets. I want to see how your budget is. And you can do percentage. Okay, I do 10% and this amount. I do 5% for utility bills, this amount. Just have a sketch. I would like to see the sketch. Is that okay? And
okay,
this can happen, not you as a wife to do the budget to go, or not you as husband. Both of you need to discuss it. So what do we agree? What do you think you should go for housekeep? What do you think you should go for tithe? How much are we earning? Okay, let's put this one for tithe. Both of you should sit down and agree. These are the things that bring bondings in the family. All right, I want to say thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. I want to believe you enjoyed the class. Hopefully, we're going to take another class, hopefully next week. Right.